So how long does it take between the time a case is settled and the time a check is issued? Well, in the old days, in some jurisdictions, it was really fast. A claims adjuster would go to an office and they'd do mediation after mediation after mediation after mediation, resolve many cases in a day, and oftentimes they just cut a check right there and then. Well, does that happen anymore? I don't know that it does in any jurisdictions. It may, but it certainly does not happen in Nevada where I practice. So typically what happens in a personal injury case is when a settlement is reached between the parties, the attorney for the insurance company or the insurance company will put together a document called a settlement agreement and release. And basically the document says, in exchange for writing you a check of this many dollars, you're going to dismiss all of your claims against my client, the insurance company, and everybody else. And sometimes there's some back and forth between the insurance company and your lawyer, if you've got one, to tighten up the language in the settlement agreement. Because they're always drafted very favorably to the insurance company, and sometimes there's some terms that may or may not be problematic. So anyway, once the settlement agreement and release is worked out, the insurance company needs to cut a check. So how long does that take? Well, typically it's probably around 30 days or so. It can be less, it can be more. If it's a large claim where there's multiple insurance policies in play, it could be 45 days, it could be 60 days. So it does take a little bit of time for this to happen. Why is that? Well, it's something the insurance companies do. It's not going to be under the control of your attorney. You can have the best attorney on earth, but if the insurance company has its procedures and protocols it needs to go through, there's nothing your attorney can do about it. So the insurance company and you or your attorney work out a settlement agreement. If a lawsuit was filed, you also need to have your attorney or you, if you don't have one, sign a dismissal saying that you're going to dismiss the lawsuit in exchange for release of all of the claims. And so you're going to give the dismissal to the other side to release all claims. You're going to give the settlement agreement and release that you've signed to the other side, releasing all of your claims. In exchange, you're going to get this check. So again, it could be 30 days, maybe a little less, 45, 60 days. If you do have a lawyer, what's going to happen is the insurance company is probably going to write a check to you and to your lawyer, and then your lawyer puts the check into what's called an IOLTA account. It's a special bank account where the interest from this bank account doesn't go to your lawyer. It actually goes to presumably some organizations picked by your bar association in your state to help people with issues of access to justice. So don't think your lawyer's just keeping the money in your lawyer's bank account to make a bunch of interest, because your lawyer's getting zero interest on it. So the check comes, the lawyer puts it into the bank account. Then when the check clears, the lawyer's going to pay any medical liens you might have, costs, things like that. The lawyer's going to pay their own fees, and the lawyer's going to cut you a check from the law firm to you. So that process of the check being deposited and clearing, it could take maybe 5 to 7 days. So this is sort of a long-winded way of saying once you settle a case, you don't get the check the same day. It might take a month, it might take a couple of months. So if this is going on and you're a little bit impatient, you should know that your lawyer's probably not the evil person. It's probably just the processes that the insurance company has to go to get the check issued and then exchange all of the documents so you can get paid.